This is my dark video in the dark, talking in the dark, to the dark. My thoughts are concerning what it is like to ameliorate or to exterminate, even harsher sounding word, one's sex drive. And it comes to one's attention when one is older and no longer married. And, there's this is something that I know that, I've talked about watching Renegade #1's videos, and it was something he was saying was an issue for him, and what to do with the biological drive that we have, but that steers us in all the wrong directions, and that we have to keep under control, or else it will lead us into foolish and undignified behavior. And I'm just wanting to log in the observation that, at least for me, once you become more aware of not being desirable, you become less desirous. And I think that for me, this has been something that, I've more discovered of late. But I think the reason why I didn't feel this way before, like say a few years ago, was that I still had some fantasy notion, which for me at the time wasn't a fantasy notion. I actually thought it was real, that I was desirable. But I don't feel that way anymore. Now, was I mistaken then? And and now I see the truth, or am I just in a rut now? And I can't see what was truthful, what was actually truthful then, that I actually was desirable to some. Anyway, it's, the question is, am I wrong now, or was I wrong then? That's a question that's worthy of examination. I should have said before, this is a somewhat self-indulgent video, so always a disclaimer there. But what I'm talking about, even though it is related to my own experience, it's not really about me. It's about this phenomenon that I'm reporting. So, at age 50, I feel fairly old, which I am, and I am just more aware of just not being desirable. So that is my experience now. Whether it's true or not, by the way, this is not a cry for this is not fishing for compliments, and it's not a cry for help either. Nothing that I do is ever a cry for help. So don't respond to it that way, or I will be annoyed. Yeah. So So I think that if one truly wishes to lose one's sex drive and um, the attendant the attendant folly that accompanies it, then it's really helpful. It is actually helpful to perceive oneself as undesirable. How does this manifest? I don't know. Just like, you don't feel like anybody's looking at you and feeling attracted. That's all. That's simple. It's that simple. Now, it might have been that I was foolish a few years ago to think that was happening, because now, of course, one knows uh, that women feign interest for various reasons, so their seeming attraction cannot be trusted always. But right now, there doesn't seem to be even the feigning of interest. So anyway, without without this coming across as self-indulgent, because again, I'm just trying to record this state of mind in an objective sort of way. It's a subjective experience, but I'm trying to discuss it in an objective sort of way. I will say I've been more in a rut lately, and for a number of reasons, but that's not the issue here. That's not what I wish to talk about here. The downside of being in a rut is, of course, self-evident. You don't feel good about. You don't feel positive about things. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel good about life when you're in a rut. The upside, though, is when you perceive yourself not to be desirable. And again, just, of course, it's ego boosting when you think that you are desirable, or can be desirable, or desirable to some. That is an ego boost, but it's also a distraction, and it also leads you into foolish behavior. Because again, you're very vulnerable, as I've written about before. This is old news for anybody who's read any of my nonfiction, including Ruminations of a Low Status Male. You become aware that your desire to be validated makes you vulnerable. It makes you vulnerable to being exploited. So when you're in when you feel that you are past your expiration date, basically, and that you're not, what if you ever had a chance of being being desired, that those days are most likely gone. then you find yourself in this other frame of mind where you're not really distracted anymore in that way. Again, it's for me anyway, being aware of not being desirable makes me less desirous. So maybe it's not necessary to take such drastic steps as as going the origin route, origin origin of the early church theologian who, it is rumored, castrated himself. Maybe it's not necessary to go the origin route. In castrating himself, of course, he ceased to be, couldn't be the origin of anybody. That's the great pun that comes out of that storyline, that consideration of his rumored choice to remove his genitals. But maybe that's not really the necessary thing. Maybe it's just you just wait until you're not desirable, and then you're not. Then the desirousness, the feelings of desirousness dissipate, and you can still have all of your organs intact. And still be removed from these kinds of problems, considerations, distractions. I think I might disable the comments on this video because I think there'll probably be some who are just like, I think the comments are going to annoy me. I think there's going to be some who try to give me a pep talk, and then there probably will be others who are just going to be like, yeah, it's over, black pill, it's over, cope, it's over, no more coping, you're coping. So I think I might just disable the comments. If anybody wants to email me, my email is nephite17@gmail.com. You can email me if you have thoughts about what I've said here. And somehow, when you write directly to someone, it has less of a it's like you're not doing it in front of an audience. There's not really the same dynamic, which makes the kind of social media dynamic of writing and knowing that other people are reading it, and knowing that trying to have an impact, trying to be as obnoxious as possible, like the troll does, or I don't know. There are some times where comments are just really irritating. So I think I'm going to disable comments just on this video. But if you have anything to say, feel free to email me, as I said, and you again can do that. If you do that, there won't be that same cruddy dynamic, that cruddy, crappy social media dynamic of it's just like middle school kind of he said this, he said that. He did not just say that. Ooh, how are you going to respond to that? You going to let him get away with that? Ooh, so no comments allowed on this video. But email me if you'd like, or not if you wouldn't. That's all. Thanks for watching.